You're working on your engine, trying to fix an issue, and then you hit a dead end. Your 10th bolt in the torque sequence just keeps spinning. It's frustrating, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I fixed it using one of these. But before we jump into the repair, let me walk you through how I ended up here. It wasn't just the head bolt that was the problem. It all started when I got the infamous P0306 check engine code, cylinder 6, misfire, along with the service StabiliTrak light flashing on my dash. So naturally, I started with the basics. First, I pulled out the spark plug to check it, and yep, it was dead. Look at the gunk on this thing. I replaced the spark plug thinking I solved the problem, but nope, the misfire was still there. Next, I swapped out the ignition coil for cylinder 6. That should have solved the problem, but yet, again, it didn't. Still misfiring. At this point, I knew I had to dig a little deeper. I removed the valve cover, and guess what I found? A stuck lifter. I went ahead and tore off the head. I replaced the lifter, cleaned everything up, replaced the valve lifter oil manifold gasket, or the VLOM. I replaced the oil pressure sensor and filter because that could be an issue, right? Because a lot of times this filter, this tiny filter in the back doesn't get replaced. And if that filter gets clogged, it can lead to low oil pressure, which can lead to lifter failure. I started to reassemble everything, and when I got to the point of torquing down the head bolts, it happened. The 10th bolt in the torque sequence just kept spinning. And when I took it out, I found a nasty surprise. It looked like someone stripped it in the past and already used a helicoil to fix it. But clearly, it didn't hold up. The helicoil was too short and was installed too deep. After scratching my head and hours of looking on the internet for suggested repairs, I found out that fixing it was doable. All you need is the right kit and a little patience. I found this Helicoil kit includes everything: the tap, the drill bits, the Helicoil inserts, and all the essentials. And the best part, this kit starts the Helicoil closer to the top of the block and extends it further down into the hole. Much more reliable than the one that was done before. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I am not a certified mechanic. I'm just a guy trying to save some cash and do the job myself. If you're watching this and you're thinking about doing the same repair, proceed with caution. And just so you know, there's other methods for fixing strip threads like a time cert, but that was a little bit out of my budget for this repair. The first step is cleaning the surface. I use brake parts cleaner to get rid of all the grime and oil. Next, you need to tape off everything around the area like hoses, exposed holes, the exhaust manifold, because we don't want any debris getting in there. Now double check the thread depth. You want to make sure that the threads in the engine block are deep enough for the helicoil to grip. I also compared the depth of the hole to the bolt's length. This way I knew exactly where to stop drilling. I marked the drill bit with a piece of tape so I wouldn't drill too deep. Now comes the tricky part, drilling the hole. You got to keep the drill as stable as possible and try to stay aligned with the existing hole. If you're off, you can make things worse, so take your time here. Once the hole is drilled, it's time to tap it. This is where you've really got to focus. If your tap goes in crooked, it's just going to mess up the whole repair. So I forgot to start recording here, but as you can see, I only go in a few threads at a time and reverse it to get the shavings out of the way. I continue this process until I get all of the threads cut. After the threads are finished, you'll want to drill a countersink to ensure the helicoil sits flush with the surface of the block. The countersink bit included with the kit stops cutting at the correct depth so you don't go too far. Before inserting the helicoil, be sure to clean out the hole with compressed air or some type of cleaner and vacuum. You want to make sure there's no debris left behind. Next, check your threads with the helicoil insert. The threads should line up perfectly with the hole. You don't want any issues when you try to install the helicoil. Before installing the helicoil, apply a little thread locker to the outside of the insert. I use this high temp one here, and you can also find that in the link below. Finally, use the insert tool that comes with the kit to screw the helicoil into the engine block. Tighten it down gently. You don't need to crank down on it like you're tightening a lug nut or anything like that. And that's it. The strip head bolt is fixed. Now you can torque down the head bolts again, and the engine block is back to normal. So there you have it, a simple, cost-effective way to fix a stripped head bolt using a helicoil. Again, I am not a professional mechanic, I'm just a do-it-yourselfer. Always proceed with caution when doing any repairs on your own vehicle. If you found this video helpful, drop a like or share it, and leave a comment if you've had a similar experience. And if you want to see more DIY projects, don't forget to subscribe.